I can't imagine being on the air and saying, I hope this economy falls apart. Let me play something from Bill Maher. This is from this weekend.
All right, Josh, isn't the Fed cutting rates now just going to make the next economic downturn worse? What's your prediction? I've been hoping for a recession. People hate me for it, but it would get rid of Trump, so you shouldn't hate me for it.
I mean, recessions are really bad. People lose their jobs and their homes, and we shouldn't wish
it's worth it.
No, it's really not.
It's amazing he's admitting it.
Can you imagine if we were actively pushing for people losing their life savings, people losing their jobs, people losing their insurance and their health care, the pain and suffering that goes, I mean, you want to talk about an elitist attitude. Now, recessions are a thing of life, but to be so cold and calculating, back in 2008, I got yelled at by a bunch of Republicans for talking down the economy. And I said at the time, I'm not talking down the economy. I'm not talking about a depression or a recession. I'm talking about a possible depression or collapse. People need to know and hear this warning. Are you going to help George Bush lose the election? Well, no, that's not my intent. I don't want Barack Obama to win, but I also have to tell you the truth that a banking collapse is coming, and it did. Now, that's different than saying, hey, you know what? I think there's going to be a recession. I think that's going to be bad. I'm hoping for one because it'll help. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is one of the charming things about Bill Maher, though, is that he just, for whatever reason, he has immunity and he can just blurt these things out. And it's not, he's telling you the truth. He has the mask off. He's actually rooting for a recession. You know that there's a giant chunk of the Democratic Party, especially in Washington, that is saying the same thing behind closed doors.
Oh, yeah.
They want this to happen because they know
I think it's the media. I think the media, that when last week, when that inverted yield curve, which could be the sign of a recession, could be, but they made it as a, an absolute done deal. It's a lock. That happens and you go into recession. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Right. I mean,
but there are other reasons they weren't worried about. I'm worried about the long-term security of the nation. What is one thing, if you wanted to say, hey, I'm really concerned about the economy, I'm really concerned about the financial wealth and stability of this country, what would the first thing you would talk about be?
The debt?
The debt. You'll notice nobody's talking about the debt. Guys, we're going to hit a point. I don't know when, but we're going to hit a point where we can't take that debt anymore. And it makes us a big-time loser. I mean, permanent loss. Why is nobody talking about that? They want a recession, but you won't talk about fundamental things. And that's the problem. That's why people, I think, are sick of this, because we're talking about things that, maybe matter in the short term, but nobody's willing to talk about it reasonably and long term at all. It's about what we got to do right now. And you're never going to make any decisions that are good based on that, especially when people are rooting for bad things.